Welcome to Nerd Sports. We're doing it at home today because we'll let Johnny take that. But we're going to talk about how the Air Force beat Navy this. It was this weekend, right?
Yeah, this past weekend, dude. There's a lot of football news to go over, but real quick, David's going to post a couple of photos of what's left of my car on the in the comments, or we're going to post it on our Instagram and our Facebook feed.
Yeah, I can do that right now while we're looking.
But based on what I was told at the scene, and based on the vehicle, or what's left of it, rather, I somebody was watching out for me. God was watching over me. Something.
Like I said, God was looking at the corner of your eye.
Everybody that has seen pictures of the car or what's left of it is just kind of amazed that I'm alive today. So what happened is that I was on my way to work Tuesday morning.
Yeah, today's Wednesday. It happened yesterday.
Yeah, so it was Tuesday morning. And it's a dangerous section of road where our shop is located at. And I had turned to get onto the access road, and just out of nowhere, headlights, pow, right side into my passenger side. They probably hit me going about 65, 70 miles an hour. My car came up off of the ground, rotated 180 degrees, and I apparently stuck the landing because my car ended up on all four wheels facing the direction that I just came from. Windshield exploded, passenger side window exploded, my window exploded. They had to pry me. They had to pop me out of the car using the jaws of life to open up my door. It was a very I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. It's a kind of a humbling experience, so to speak, reminding me of what my mortality is. So if anybody would have been sitting in the passenger side seat of my car, they would have not have made it. The people in the other car, to my knowledge, are okay. That was actually my first question. Whenever people got out of the cars, there was two nurses that responded to the scene because they were right there on their way to work. That was my first question: is are the people in the other car okay? And my car went airborne. I felt the roll, and my car stuck the landing. So I don't know the make and model of the car that hit me. I don't, but I don't remember the actual impact. I barely remember the sensation of flying through the air in my car. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. But I'm still here. So y'all people can't get rid of me that easy. So I'm just saying, I had these lofty aspirations that I was going to come to work today. And last night I'm sitting here. I texted David and I texted our boss, and I was like, I think I'm going to take the day and just kind of rest. But we're going to get back after it tomorrow. But dude, this week, man, or this past weekend, kickoff weekend for the NFL. So there's a lot of football news to go over. College football's in the swing of things. Baseball's wrapping up their season. There's 20 regular season or 19 regular season games left in the year now for a lot of the teams, barring any kind of makeup games from rainouts and things of that nature. But
well, we're in Cowboy Central, Cowboy Nation, really, right now, and they are crying.
Well, they are and they're not. I mean, you got your people that really, You got your people that are going to bitch and complain no matter what the Cowboys do. They could win a Super Bowl, and it's not good enough for them. They need to win a Super Bowl by 50 points or something. But I mean, the Cowboys had a really good game when it came to playing the Buccaneers on Thursday last week. It was a 2-point game. I mean, really, it comes down to their kicker, Zerline. He missed an extra point and 2 field goals. So, but Cowboy news. This came out today, probably about 5:45. So,
they got a new kicker?
No. Their defensive end, Demarcus Lawrence, he'll miss 6 to 8 weeks with a broken foot. He hurt his foot today in practice.
Ouch.
Yeah. So
I almost hurt my foot today too. I feel. Luckily, I wear steel toe boots no matter what. If I go to work and everything like that, I always try to wear steel toe boots.
Right.
Well, they're pushing the blue generator, trying to get it up on the back end, and the new kid slams into my foot. I was like, and our other coworker was like, "Man, he almost got you." I was like, "No, there's no almost. He did get me." He's like, "How's your foot? Okay. Why are you screaming?" Because I'm wearing steel toes. I'm not stupid.
Right.
Yeah. I there's too much fuckery that goes on at a job site that sometimes, I mean, it's gonna happen. Stupid stuff is gonna happen.
All right. So last week I told you that I was going to go to the hockey game, right? On Friday on 9/11.
Yeah, what happened with that? You never said anything about that.
Yeah, I went. And it was a preseason game. They were giving a majority of the proceeds from the sales at the door to the visiting team's family, because I guess his wife is going through cancer treatments or something to that effect.
Yeah, it was a very. I wanted to. I ended up getting busy. I was going to show up just to. I was thinking about. I should have just bought a ticket and just left. Yeah,
well, it's I mean, it's at the door. So like literally, you walk in, you pay $10, you sit anywhere you want. So, I sat down on the glass next to the visitors end. But how they anytime you do minor league or semi-pro or anything like that, it's usually a really family friendly, fan engaged type environment. So they do this thing called Chuck-a-Puck, right? Where you get these like foam rubber hockey pucks, right? And they write like 4-digit numbers on there. And you get like 3 for $5 or, 6 for 10 or something like that. So, but after the second period is over, you take the puck and you throw it out onto the ice. And the person's puck who lands closest to the center dot on the ice wins whatever they're giving away that night. I won.
What'd you win?
I was thinking like normally they give away like $100 or they give away tickets or whatever. So I got an autographed practice puck from the captains on the team, and they dated it 9/11/21, and got 2 tickets to the home opener on the 24th.
Oh, that's cool.
So they're I don't know if I'm going to go or not. So I'm going to give those 2 tickets to my parents. I'm going to let them go, kind of have a night out kind of situation. Besides that, I'm just understandably so, just kind of a little gun shy right now about driving around, in the dark right now. Cause I don't want to go flying again.
Yeah.
Not anytime soon.
Well, after what happened to me today, I was like, my knuckles are white, because I was gripping them.
I mean, so I don't know how well the camera shows it, but it's like, I'm cut up all the way up my arm. I'm still pulling glass out of places that I didn't know I could hold glass, but
you'd be surprised.
Yeah, right. It's kind of like sand in the desert, right?
I don't know if you want me to say this on camera, but my dad said something kind of cute and funny. He's like, well, they should have left the glass in his head so we can see how empty he is inside.
I got something for your dad. I got something for him. It's okay. It's all right. Dickerman, I'm coming for you. Don't you worry about that, none. I got you, son. But so, but yeah, so Cowboy news. Their defensive end, DeMarcus Lawrence, is going to miss 6 to 8 weeks with a broken foot. We'll see how well that heals. Now the Olympic gymnasts, they're coming out saying that the FBI screwed the pooch on the investigation with Larry Nassar. I guess it was a personal trainer with the U.S. Olympic team. I mean, talking about it like some sexual assaults going back over the last 14 months, stuff like that. So, the assaults occurred in June of 2015. So, but
yeah. Oh, okay. So it wasn't.
It seems to be a reoccurring theme. Anytime we report on something criminal, that it's usually shoddy police work. It's like, come on, y'all are supposed to be professionals, the top of your field, yada yada yada, and you're gonna sit there and screw the pooch like that. That's no bueno, bro. But college football, we're gonna do that before we get into the NFL, and even maybe we're gonna say baseball for the last part of it. But yeah, so there was a couple of upsets out there. Let me see here. Let me get into this.
Is it Larry Lennar or Leonard?
Larry Nassar.
Oh, Nassar.
Yeah, Nassar. Nessar or something like that.
You know, it's really funny. I typed it in Larry Leonard, and I still got a sexual assault thing.
Maybe it's just dudes named Larry.
I think so.
So if you listen to our show and your name is Larry, go ahead and kindly unfollow us.
Well, no, Larry Elder is pretty good guy.
Yeah, Larry Elder is the
guy that's trying to.
Yeah. And we'll get into that briefly.
I don't know another guy named Larry, and he's perfectly fine. It's just, I guess it's like if it's Leonard or Leonard or something to that extent.
Yeah. So Texas decided that they wanted to join the SEC.
What's that?
The Southeastern Conference, right? The perennial premier conference in college football, right?
Yeah.
They played number 20 Arkansas this week. And they got their asses whooped. We're talking 40-21. You know, and looking back, okay, so Arkansas used to belong to the same conference as Texas way back in the day when it was the Southwestern Conference, right?
Okay.
It was Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, TCU, stuff like that. And but yeah, Arkansas whooped the shit out of Texas. It doubled up on them. It was like, whoo. It was brutal. Let me see here.
Well, they've actually always been. Well, that's the Razorbacks?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've always had a really good team. I mean,
yeah, they've been dangerously
what's
good.
really sad is I think Marcus Luttrell. I think wasn't that the.
I think that's his alma mater.
Yeah, sure. or his wife. I think it's his
I think it's his wife actually, because.
And Marcus Luttrell goes there to motivate the team. I think he's been doing it for about 10 years.
Yeah.
No, it hasn't been 10 years.
Well, he's been doing it for a little bit. So
yeah,
he's been doing it for a minute, but
he goes there to do a lot of motivation for the team and everything like that.
Yeah, the athletics and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah, when you played it and everything like that, this is a really good speech. I was like, dude, that's Marcus Luttrell. He's like, how did you know that just by I was like, I listened to him.
No. You're talking about that Medal of Honor speech where it's like, you don't know war. We know war. And if you want to make war with the United States of America, I promise you this, somebody else will raise your sons and daughters. That was from a Medal of Honor acceptance speech last year.
No, that wasn't it. You're actually listening to, because you told me it was a pregame speech.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
it was.
listened to it.
I
Now I
remember
know
what
it
we
was,
were doing. I was watching TikTok videos, and
yeah,
it was a motivational thing. Yeah, that's what it was.
yeah, it was Marcus Luttrell.
But a lot of people that are gonna, bitch and complain because I mean, especially like Ohio State fans, the Ohio State University fans. They started out the year they were like ranked number 3, and then they got spanked. They got dropped to number 9, and number 4 Oregon beat them. And then no, what was it? Oh crap! You're gonna get me all fucked up here. Ohio. Okay, I remember what it was. Number 9 Ohio. Well, Ohio State was ranked number 3 during week 1, and then they lost. Or no, they didn't lose. Holy crap! They got spanked. Oh, I know what happened. I know what I'm looking at. You look at me. I'm special. I'm helping. Hold on. I'm going to try this. Yeah. Did you hear that? You didn't hear that at all, did you?
No. Well, no, I heard it.
Yeah. The whole. Yeah.
Playing with your new toy.
Yeah, with my new toy. So Oregon was like they were ranked lower than Ohio State. Ohio State was ranked like number 3, and then Oregon beat them 35-28. So I had talked about that upset last week. That's what I did. So
yeah.
But so now Ohio State is ranked number 9 in the country, and
the Buckeyes, right?
Yeah. Now they're ranked number 9 in the country. So, Oklahoma's beating up on these little Division I schools that are just barely putting together teams. Wichita is it? What is it? Western Carolina, the Castamounts, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a Division I school. Kids go there to play. They go there to learn. Great, awesome. Oklahoma beat them 76-0. And I'm like, okay. And I told you the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season, but until they open up conference play, it's usually these cupcake teams.
Yeah, I've always known that because a couple of my friends are OU fans, and they constantly, "Oh, you won this week," and I was like, I'm curious. I'm not a football fan, but I'll look at these teams and I was like, who is this school? I don't even know the school. And I look at the school and I was like, man, they're not that big of a. I mean, they're curriculum. I can't even say that. Right.
Curriculum.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. I'm not good with words. We all know this.
That's okay. Totally okay.
Let's do it.
What? Do what? I wasn't gonna do anything.
I just pressed the button.
Hold on, let me find a good one here.
Oh no! Oh yeah!
Oh wait!
Oh no! Oh yeah!
Here's the one. And okay, so here we go. Wait, hold on. So like, whenever I catch you, and I'm going to be like, I'm not going to bust your ass for this. I just want to hear one thing out of you.
We're gonna get flagged so fucking easy about that.
No, it's not. No, that's less than a 5-second clip.
I don't know, because as soon as I popped up a lot of stuff that when we were up at what you call it, the con.
Yeah.
Every song that guy was playing in the background.
I know, but we didn't ever caught any heat for that though.
Yeah, because I cleared it out.
Oh well, here's what I say to the record labels.
But
anyways.
no,
right, so.
they kept on saying it was like, oh, our team is winning so many games and everything. They're kicking people's butt for like 80 points in a game. And I look at these teams, I'm like, yeah, but it's like beating up a mentally challenged person. Seriously.
Right.
I mean, it's like
he's wrong, but he's not. I mean, he's out of line, but he ain't wrong.
Yeah, it's one of those things you just constantly it's so sad. I was like, dude, I want to go to that school and just talk to these kids and everything and tell them it's like, hey, everything's going to be all right. I got some, I can't say pudding pops because I don't know if that's the rapey thing, but we'll back away from the pudding pops. I'll get you ice cream. How about that? I'll get you some ice cream. What kind of flavor of ice cream we want, guys?
He wants the Jello.
There's so many things you can't offer people. Jello's one of them. Pudding pops is another thing. Pudding in general, right?
You know, I mean, the only thing that goes through Bill Cosby's head whenever he goes to the store to buy any kind of snack foods, he gets that devious look on his face, and this is what he hears in his head.
Victory.
I'm sorry.
I still can't believe he got that stuff turned over so fast.
Oh, dude, I want to know. I want to know who he knows. Bill, hey, Bill. Yeah, I need that lawyer, bro, because I'm gonna get myself into some trouble.
Yeah.
Good night.
But what else do we have? We don't. I'm trying to look.
Well, okay. So Army, Air Force, Navy, the service academies. Okay, so every year when the service academies play each other, it's going to be for the.
Oh, did I mention the coach? I'm trying to find what happened because after they coach.
You know, while you're looking that up, Air Force, their early salvo, early sortie, let's just call it that way, because that's what you people in the Air Force call it. They struck first, and they beat Navy 23-3 last week. So they've already knocked off one service academy. So there's a thing that we play for every year called the Commander-in-Chief Trophy, and it goes to the school that beats the other two academies in football.
Yeah, last year it was the Navy.
Army won it.
I'm looking at 2000.
Yeah, we brought the CIC trophy back home after we beat both Navy and Air Force in consecutive weeks, I might add. And that was just because of the whole COVID season thing. Just 2020, we're just going to call the COVID season. Because traditionally the Army-Navy game is the last regular season college football game played in the country. But because Air Force needed to opt out because during their regular scheduled game with Army, they moved the game to the week after the Army-Navy game, and they went to Michie Stadium there at West Point, and that was a closer game than the Army or than the Navy gave Army, but the good guys still came out at the end. So,
okay, here it is. Navy assistant football coach Bill Ray Stuntsman says he was fired over refusing to take the COVID vaccine. Yeah, that's what it was. I thought it was something to do with the fact of he lost the game.
Well, no, because when the president, air quotes there, said that all military personnel and federal employees are now mandated to take it, they're required to take it. Naval Academy, Annapolis, is considered a federal installation. So if you work there, you are considered a federal employee.
Yeah.
So he chose not to take it, and it's unfortunate that he lost his job. But we're going to get that whole thing sorted out, because I mean there's got to be some kind of legality to it. There's got to be some kind of legal challenge that can be issued. But I mean that's not what we're here to discuss. But
yeah,
moving on into NFL news. So week 1 of the NFL is officially in the books. So let's see. Let me pull up the scores from last week real quick. Gonna go week 1. There we go. All right. So first off, in the hole, we had talked about briefly the Cowboys lost that 2-point game to the Buccaneers. It came down to special teams. It was a good game. I'm not going to sit there and go that the Cowboys are going to be dangerous this year. I'm not even going to go as far as to say that Tampa Bay is going to go back and they're going to defend their Super Bowl title when the Super Bowl 56 goes to Los Angeles to be played in SoFi Stadium. But I mean, because honestly, it's week 1. This is really the first game that a lot of these starters have gotten out there and have played a full game. So, everybody's stretching their legs. You saw a lot of cramps, a lot of injuries and stuff like that. A lot of people getting gassed, basically, just from out that not being conditioned to play a full game. So, as the season goes on, as the next couple of weeks unwind, we're going to start seeing that differential between the haves and the have-nots. So it's going to be an interesting season to say the very least. And I'm not going to go on this whole tangent with the commentary about it, but Thursday night, the last Thursday night's game, when the broadcast opened up with the quote unquote Black national anthem. And I'm not saying this as a white male. I'm saying this as an American. We only have one national anthem. I didn't, I don't agree with the social commentary being injected.
Why is it only the NFL that's doing it?
Honestly, I don't know.
Baseball doesn't do it.
Baseball doesn't do it.
Hockey doesn't do it.
College football doesn't do it. Soccer. I mean,
the Olympics.
I think it's just the NFL. And the NBA didn't even do it.
Yeah.
And you would expect that the NBA would be like the forerunner and all that stuff, but it just, the commissioner's a moron, dude. I mean, it's all there is to it. There was a lot of players.
Well, they set that up for last year.
Quarterback.
They set that up for last year.
Well, they did, but don't pander. I mean, we've got the whole end racism. We were in this together. You got those messages that are on the back line of the end zones. And that's fine, whatever. But don't further work to segregate our society by playing to these special interest groups that are really just a vocal minority. And I'm not talking about minority in as far as like demographics are concerned, but I personally hit the mute button. I didn't change the channel or anything like that. I just hit the mute button because I'm like, you know what? I don't want to hear it. When I turn on the game, my boys and I, when we're watching sporting events, we know that when the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, is being played, we stand up. We stand for the national anthem. We stand for the flag. We kneel for the cross. That's just the way that myself, that's the way my boys are raised. But past that, man, when we got into the actual nitty gritty of the game and the way that it was being played, it was great, man. And it was awesome to see, normalcy. I mean, that was the one big overlining theme over the course of the weekend for the games that got televised. The commentators were talking about how great it was to have people in the stands, because the NFL didn't play with people in the stands last year, with the exception of the Super Bowl. Fans weren't allowed to go see regular season games. They were all televised. But the Jaguars and the Texans played in Houston. Texans won that one 37-21. The Chargers beat the Washington football team 20-16. Seahawks beat the Colts 28-16. Jets lost to the Panthers. The Jets lost. Imagine that. To the Panthers 14-19. One of the surprise games from last weekend, the Vikings and the Bengals. Joe Burrows, the number 1 overall draft pick coming out of LSU year before last. or was last year, after winning that national championship with LSU. He had an early exit to his season with a torn ACL, so he had major reconstructive surgery on his knee. A lot of people were kind of just like sitting there going, we don't know how well this guy's going to be. A lot of people are going to be like, they're all talking about how he's going to be a flop. He's going to burn out. And it's just because where he's playing, the offensive line in Cincinnati is shitty at best. And, they don't offer their quarterbacks a lot of protection. That's why people don't excel there.
Yeah, a lot of I always tell people is like very rarely do you see like two offensive teams in a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Usually it's the high end defensive team. If you look at the actual teams themselves for this year, the best defensive team will win their division usually, and the best offensive team will win their division, and that's usually how it goes. Very, very rarely do you have like the best of the defensive teams on both sides. It happens, but you're not going to really see that going into the NFL. It's either very rare, like I said, very rarely do you see like the best of both the defensive teams. Like last year was the best of the best defensive team against the best offensive team.
Yeah, and by the way, absolutely. Good job on the on a very well-educated take. You contributed to the sports show, dude, and something substantive. That is awesome.
I remember something from my past. I took one of those limitless pills.
Yeah, but
I took one of those limitless pills.
Right, there you go. Alpha Brain, thank you very much. Yeah. The Cardinals went into Tennessee and they beat the Titans 38-13. 49ers took it to the Lions 41-33. I say took it to them. They beat them. And it's the Lions. I mean, come on. The Lions have been toothless for years. Steelers went up to Buffalo, beat the Bills 23-16. The Eagles embarrassed the Atlanta Falcons 32-6. The Falcons didn't even get to the end zone. They kicked 2 field goals.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. The Packers were embarrassed by the Saints 38-3. And a lot of people are like, well, it's because Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to fucking play in Green Bay anymore. And he told everybody as much. So he's going to kind of tank the season. Broncos, they beat the Giants in New York, in the Meadowlands, 27.
Oh, have you seen those photos to where it was like, that old photo where guy was like, you had, I forget what the rock star was. He was like, this guy is 70. He's had sex with plenty of women, had a bunch of drugs and everything like that. And they pan over to Bill Clinton, and he's 71, and he's been married to Hillary Clinton.
Dude looks like the Crypt Keeper. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they've been doing the same thing with Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady.
Oh yeah, I've seen those. Like, he looks like the guy that's the rat Breaking Bad, or he looks like I've seen him. Yeah, I saw it today, dude. I thought it was hilarious. There was a couple of surprise games last weekend with the NFL that I immensely enjoyed watching. The first one was
is it kind of sad football season I have like a little bit leeway because I know a lot of people that do that like to talk. I mean, almost everybody you can pick somebody off the road that looks homeless, and he probably is homeless, and you start talking football to him and he'll talk football with you.
Yeah, I've noticed that. So yeah. But the Cleveland Browns went in. Now the Cleveland Browns have not won an opening week game in like the last 7 or 8 years. Okay. So they go into Kansas City, the defending AFC champions. Okay. And damn near won. They led for 3/4 of the game. I mean, and just like, it came down to just a couple of plays, really. Patrick Mahomes, he was flushing out towards his right. And the receiver was about 40 yards downfield, running across the field the opposite direction. Or no, they were trailing each other, so they were both running to the right side of the field, right? And Mahomes he about to get his ass planted, right? Dude, he chucks this ball across his body, back across the field, a step behind his receiver. His receiver, Tyreek Hill, stops, plants his foot, comes back one step, catches the ball, breaks free from the defender, and runs it in for the score, right? Place goes absolutely ape shit. And I'm just sitting there going, see, only somebody like Patrick Mahomes can make that kind of a throw. And I'm just sitting there going, he's playing some backyard Texas Tech bullshit football. And he's just out there just whooping people's asses with it. I mean, the Browns defense had the Chiefs kind of stymied for the first 3 quarters of the game, but Kansas City, they do what Kansas City does. They made the adjustments, and they ultimately came back and they won. But it was just, I mean, it wasn't for a lack of effort on Cleveland's part. So, I mean, Cleveland's going to run into those teams. And for the most part, I think Cleveland's going to be okay this year. I think they're going to make the playoffs again. But the biggest thing that Cleveland's got going against it is just them being Cleveland. They have to get out of their own way, just like the Cowboys. They have to stay out of their own way in order to get anything done. Problem is the people from the front office to Jerry Jones, the personalities on the field, they just tend to kind of trip over themselves. It's like watching an old woman who forgot to put her bra on try to walk down to the market in the morning. She's always tripping and falling. Shit's falling out. It's gross looking. It's bad.
Well, actually, Jerry Jones, a lot of the times, he needs to sit down and just watch the game and not like interfere too much. Because ever since what's his name? Who's the last coach that won the Super Bowl?
Bruce Arians?
For Dallas.
Oh, for Dallas? Oh, it was Barry Switzer.
Yeah, Barry Switzer. Since Barry Switzer, Jerry Jones is pretty much up the coach's ass, and they've never won a game since.
Yeah. Now, the second game that I immensely enjoyed watching was Monday night's game against it was the Ravens against the Las Vegas Raiders. So we're not saying the Los Angeles Raiders anymore. We're saying the Las Vegas Raiders because this is their official home opener. So I mean, this is the first time they've had fans in the stands. They're playing in Allegiant Stadium in downtown Las Vegas. It pretty much looked like it was going to be all Ravens all night long, right? The Ravens were up like 24-14 or something like that. And then all of a sudden, here come the Raiders. They start playing out their backside, start solving the Lamar Jackson puzzle. They were containing him. They were tackling. They were making tackles. They were getting takeaways. They tie the game up at 27 and go to overtime. And I'm sitting there going, I'm like, man, I hate rooting for the Raiders. It's not that I hate the Raiders. I don't look at the Raiders like I look at, say, like the Eagles, where it's just one of those teams where it's just you feel dirty for rooting for them. But I don't know. Anyway, so I was actually pulling for the Raiders in this one because I'm like, I just want to see something positive happen for this club. And so they were driving down the field, and Derek Carr, their quarterback, he throws the interception in the end zone, throws an interception. And it really wasn't his fault. It basically just bounced off of his receiver, hit him in the hands. Ball bounces up, and one of the defenders from Baltimore comes over, and they intercept it. So Baltimore gets the ball. They come out on the 20, and they're driving, and Lamar Jackson fumbles the ball. And L.A. takes the ball over, and they get within field goal range, and so they're going to go out there, and it's like 2nd and 10 or something like that, and they're like, you know what, fuck this. We're just going to kick the field goal. So they get the field goal unit out there. And because nobody knew what the hell was going on, they get a delay of game penalty assessed to them. So backs them up 5 yards and takes them out of, takes them a little bit out of field goal range. I mean, with a premier kicker, they could have made it, but so when so instead of kicking the field goal, they just stick their offense back out there. And dude, it looked like a Kobe shot, man. David Carr, their quarterback, he's kind of running for his life, and he just jump balls this thing. He jumps, throws the ball over the line, across the middle, and their slot receiver catches it. There's nobody within 7 yards of this guy, and he just runs it in. Las Vegas beat the Ravens on opening weekend, won their home opener. Raider Nation's going crazy. It was kind of funny, but I mean, it was an entertaining week overall for week 1 of the season. So, I mean, it's going to be, some headlines that come out of it. And, if it wasn't for the fact that I see your blinds moving in the background, I'd swear to God that the picture froze, because you're just like, do. I mean,
I'm able to listen and stay still and everything. What's really good about using Zoom, though, is instead of being picture, whoever's talking, that's who the picture is. So,
yeah, well,
I learned that. That's the reason why I like using Zoom. And I was actually looking at this article while you're talking, because I found it is a sports news. Yeah. It is sports news.
Mm-hmm.
And let me read this off to you. The Taliban has banned women's sports in Afghanistan. Australia SBS News has quoted, and this is September 8th, 2021, that this was pushed out. But SBS, Australian's SBS TV, has quoted a Taliban spokesperson as saying that women's sport and women's cricket specifically will be banned by his group in Afghanistan. And cricket, they might face a situation where their face and body will not be covered. Islam does not allow women to be seen like this, which I've read the Quran. There's nothing about it. Anyways, I don't know.
So
the network
Taliban
quoted
is somewhere out there trying to seem like a legitimate government entity.
Okay. I know. Right. The deputy head of the Taliban Culture Commission, as saying, it is a media era, and there will be photos and videos. Then people watch it. Islam and the Islamic, I can't even pronounce that word. Do not allow women to play cricket or play the kind of sports where they get exposed. Yeah, but raping either their alive or dead body is okay, and that's true. There's actual reports of people, the Taliban. Actually, it doesn't matter if the body is alive or dead; they still rape it.
Yeah.
Those people aren't human.
No, they're really not.
But that's my sports news, because technically it's sports news. Your damn buttons.
I know, right? I mean, then there's all other kinds of sounds like
bring that ass back like a boom, 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 boom.
I'm gonna have to find something appropriate for that one.
Glad you're having fun there, Johnny.
Yeah, right. God, I need to get back to work, bro. That's just all there is to it.
You've only been gone a day.
I know, and I'm going absolutely fucking stir crazy. It's just nuts.
Well, you also don't have a vehicle either, so.
Very, very true. I'm just like, I'm sitting there going, well, I could just go around this. Oh, wait, no, I can't. I just, but hopefully I'll have that remedied this weekend. So, we'll see what's going on. All in all, man, I'm just, I'm lucky to be here. I'm glad that I was able to walk out of that.
Yeah.
You know,
I was totally freaking out because because it happened like right at work, and
yeah, it was right there that access road to go to work.
yeah, and I was like, man, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get there. And as soon as I got there, they're like, everybody was saying, it's like, well, Johnny was supposed to be here at 7:50 or 6:50. I was like, and they were like, hey, doesn't one of y'all have like a blue car? I was like, oh shit, Johnny doesn't come in until like 7:50, but they ended up telling me what time that you're supposed to go in. I was like, fuck, move the truck out of my out of the way. And I zoomed over there and I caught you getting into the ambulance, and then I talked to your dad. I helped him get some of your stuff in your in the vehicle and everything. I was like, shit. And I kept on texting you. I was like, well, he hasn't texted me back. He hasn't texted me back. I was totally worried. I don't want to find another host.
You know, I mean, that hits me right here, man.
I know I got to think about my priorities.
Yeah, it's like, you got to look out for number one. You got to look out for your your property, man. So I totally get it.
It's not that I stamped you, but you're a heavy sleeper, and that tattoo artist, I'm surprised. By the way, don't let your girlfriend know about the tattoo of my name on your ass. She'll figure it out eventually, but anytime soon, no.
See, whenever David goes on these like delusional rants of grandeur, I just kind of let him go, because he lives in a world of fantasy a lot of times. We've had a lot of great productive authors that come out of that world: Stephen King, Arthur C. Clarke, Ray Bradbury. But
there's a ghost.
No,
behind you. No, your door's open.
I know. My dog opened my door. Go on. Yeah. Go on. Get your bone and get out of here. Anyways, so but as I was saying, I let David kind of go on these little rants. I let him finish what he needs to say, because eventually he's gonna wake up and realize that he's sitting on the can in the toilet with a limp dick in a hand that has fallen asleep, because he's just that boring.
I'm not that boring. I mean, it's kind of funny whenever I drop somebody off at a truck stop and they're going, hey, can you just drop me off at this truck stop? All right, but I didn't know you're a lot lizard.
Hold on. There's something for this. Hold on. There we go.
Machine gun?
Okay, how about this? Yeah, that's better.
Okay, yeah, that's more appropriate.
Yeah, that's more appropriate.
Yeah.
There's.
I mean, you don't have a cricket one? You don't have a cricket button?
And then there's this one. Yeah, I like that one.
I say I don't hear it all the way.
You still. See, and then when I mess with the reverb a little bit, and then boo. There we go. See, yeah. Anyways, then I get all echoey when I do that. Then I mess with the reverb, and then ooh ba ba ba. Anyways, ooh ba ba. Who the hell says ooh ba ba? I don't know. I got nothing. Never mind. Just ignore me. Just go on about your day.
Okay.
But
well, anyways, is that it for this week for sports?
Yeah, I wanted to touch on baseball, but
because I haven't. I looked at all the baseball news and everything. I didn't see anything.
There's really nothing out there as far as like.
I think everybody switched gears to football.
Well, and it's because we're like I said, we're in the last 19, 20 games of the regular season. So, there's going to be a lot of you're going to start seeing a lot of the emphasis being shifted towards who's going to be playing and who's going home. The first team to punch their postseason ticket was the San Francisco Giants. The second team was the Dodgers. So the Dodgers are guaranteed at least a wild card berth for that one game play in. But it's going to be. I think it's going to be okay. Something here. There we go. Anyway, so yes, I'm still figuring this whole sound card out. So this is kind of like the baptism by fire thing. So
yeah.
But one of these days we're going to look like a professional podcast.
Now
I'm in danger.
There really wasn't any kind of other sports news or anything like that.
There's really not. The Mets and the Yankees played the Subway Series this year to commemorate 9/11. So they played there. The benches cleared over the weekend at that game because Giancarlo Stanton he's Bush League, man. I mean, the guy can hit a ball a mile when he stays healthy. But he can't stand it when people talk to him. So, with all that aside, when he's running the bases, he gets chirped at by some of the Mets players. Just keep your head down and keep going. Don't let it affect you. Instead, what do? You're going to stop. You're going to say something. You're going to chirp back. And then you're going to walk all the way to the dugout while your teammates are clearing the benches and they're getting in, and the teams are getting in each other's faces. And then you're going to come up out of the dugout in a very lackadaisical manner after everything's already been sorted. And then you're going to sit there and hide behind a row of your own teammates as 4 or 5 deep and keep chirping. Like, no, dude, you're going to start something like that. You need to be a man and you need to get out there and finish it. I mean, I don't necessarily like to go to a game and see the benches clear because I just want to see him play a game. But do I think it's healthy for the state of a rivalry every once in a while? Yeah, absolutely. Do I like to see the Yankees and Red Sox beat on each other physically? Absolutely, because I think that that's part of the rivalry. Same thing with the Yankees and the Mets. Those guys, they share a team, or they share a city. Get out there and beat the shit out of each other every once in a while. I mean, you get people from the Queens, from Queens versus the people from the Bronx. Somebody's got to blink first, right? So, but all that aside, yeah, I'm going to be back to work tomorrow. We got those 2 episodes that we had in the can already.
Yeah.
So
we just got to edit them.
Yeah, I just got to edit them. But we needed to get the sports episode out of the way, and it's late. It's late getting recorded, but that's just because
life happened
in the way, and yeah, life happened. Life happened. I almost lost mine. I'm damn lucky. So, it's I'm feeling pretty blessed. I mean, I'm sore. I've got bruises all over the place, but
as long as I'm not visiting you in a morgue. So
yeah. So I'm pretty happy to be upright. I'm on the right side of the dirt, as my dad would like to say.
Yeah.
But past that, man, I'll see you in the morning. You just come by, pick me up for work, but we'll get back at it, and then we'll have a normal schedule starting into next week, and we'll go from there. So hopefully these temperatures start coming down around here, man, because this summer trying to hang on is some bullshit, bro.
It's actually getting really, really low. I mean, 3 o'clock was like 90s.
I want to show up to work in some fucking Uggs and a damn sweater, turtleneck sweater, sipping on some pumpkin spice lattes or something. You know, I want that shit to be like 50s and 60s. No, not really. You'll never catch me in a pair of Uggs. B,
If you
never
well,
catch
no,
me
no,
in a
no.
turtleneck.
If you ever even jokingly do that, I literally made a scar on a person's face by backhanding them. I don't want that scar to be on your face.
Well, okay. So, amongst other things, that's never going to happen. So, yeah. So,
Anyways,
yeah, no, yeah, all in jest. But
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap this up because I think what we're looking at, I can't see runtime right now, so
I can't either, but I know we're probably about 45
we're probably
minutes or
butting
so.
it up right up there on an hour. So
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate the patience with everybody with the delay on the episode coming out this week. But you know, I needed a day to kind of reassess and kind of heal up a little bit. So there's that, and because I think we had planned on shooting on Monday originally, but I got off late Monday. And by the time I got back to the house, you were like, yeah, no, I'm sleepy tired already. And I was like, yeah, cool. So we'll just do it tomorrow. And then when tomorrow, the next day came, that was Tuesday. I
ended up not coming. Well, Tuesday was. I ended up not coming home until like 6 o'clock.
Yeah. So it was your turn to A, come in late. B, it was me healing. So
yeah,
I would do, I think right after you left, I probably slept until about 8:30, 9 o'clock. Woke up and
it was about 9 o'clock when you just finally all the adrenaline must have clicked off and your pain medicine clicked off too.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. They didn't give me anything for pain.
That's weird.
I mean, I think they gave me some Toradol, but it didn't do a whole lot. The only thing as far as like local anesthetic that they gave me was the lidocaine that they injected around my ear.
Yeah, to do the stitches.
My ear looks like ass, dude, and I'm surprised that I've got this headset on my ear. But you know, he didn't stitch the skin. He stitched through the cartilage and then closed because the cartilage itself has got holes in it from glass.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I mean, the force of the impact was not only violent enough to move my passenger side door to the center console, but I had tinted safety glass. You know, the safety glass that's in those windows, it was tinted. So I mean, it should have all held together, but it just outright exploded, and pieces of glass went everywhere. They pulled a chunk of glass out of the back of my head. Pulled a couple of pieces out of my ear, like not in my ear, but like from like the ear lobe. So I mean, it shiny, but the doc cleaned it up a little bit. He said he thought that there might have been a little bit more like smaller pieces, like shards in there, but he didn't. The lidocaine that he kept having to hit my ear with kept wearing off really quick, and I'm sorry, that shit hurts. So I mean, and then when they hit me with the IV, they started an IV on me. They used an 18 gauge needle. I mean, it was a big fucking needle, dude. I mean, I was like, you know what? All right, cool. She goes, you know, the nurse goes, you're going to feel a pinch. And then she goes, boop, sticks it in there. And I'm like, okay, you know, but, he was sitting there just cranking on that cartilage in my ear when he was trying to stitch it up. And I'm trying to breathe because I'm trying not to black out. And
yeah, usually
tunnel vision.
Yeah, usually they don't stitch up ears all too much because it's so it moves on its own and it's hard to get the stitches and everything like that.
Well, because look at gaping holes. I mean, in the ear being attached to the head. I mean, anytime you get a head wound, I mean, it's a very vascular area of the body. So, I mean, you're going to bleed profusely and it's going to look a lot worse than it actually is. That's
Yeah,
why
I had
when
a,
we
I
came
had
over, I
a,
still had all that. I had all that dry blood down the back of my, like on my
yeah,
scalp, and it was all down my neck and everything. So, uh, yeah, I mean, like literally, this morning when I woke up, man, it felt like I had gone 12 rounds with Mike Tyson to include the ear.
yeah.
So,
I had a rock hit me like dead center in the forehead one time, and it
right.
and it basically all it did was puncture. And I just had freaking blood just gushing all over my face. And they're like, "Oh my god, you're cut so bad!" And I moved off all the blood and everything like that. It was like a tiny. It was like someone like poked me with a sewing needle.
Yeah. And it's like wrestlers, they put those like small blades, razor blades in their fingernails or whatever, and then they go to like cut the opponent's head. Um, it's just small little cut. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Just small little cut, and it just looks way worse than it is because your head is so vascular. But I think we need to go ahead and wrap that up, and you know, like I said, man, I'm glad to be here. Feel blessed to be able just to kind of sit here, do what we do, record our episodes, talk shit to each other, try to sound like a legitimate podcast. But
I think I'm funny, so that's all.
oh,
That matters.
you are you're a funny looking motherfucker right there. So
That's about it. That's the only reason why I don't like doing this type of Zoom stuff and everything. So
Right.
everybody sees how ugly I actually am. I mean,
Right.
it's good on the side view, but up and close and personal, no.
you do have a you have a respectable profile. So yeah, I'll give you that.
I'm going with when people actually watch this in this type of setting and everything, the episode goes down and like, man, I'm just gonna click this. I'm gonna unsubscribe and everything like that, and I gotta go to the bathroom and throw up a little bit.
No, man. But anyway, so but yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap this up for tonight, and then I guess I'll see you in the morning. So yeah, just text me before you get over here, and I'll make sure that I'm outside. So
Okay. Well, I am David Dickerman,
I'm Johnny Skelton.
and this is Nerd Sports. Thank you for watching.